My name is Morley Nelson, and you are watching Hollywire.
What's up, Hollywire? I am here with Morley Nelson, the man of the hour, the writer, the producer, the director, the star of Uncontained. Congratulations. I heard this movie was a journey for 4 years, and I'm sure longer with the writing, right?
I actually wrote it probably in a couple of months.
Oh, wow.
So I'm lucky I'm like a really quick writer.
Yeah.
But I also had the fortune of including my kids as the
Yes.
main characters,
Oh,
and my wife,
yes.
and our dog, and the car, and, you know, our house, and everything else.
So that was one of the questions I was going to ask you, because I noticed when I looked on the IMDb, you play the man, and your wife plays the woman, but that's her only IMDb credit?
Correct.
So
correct.
was this her acting debut?
It was for all of them.
All
She's
of
actually
their acting debuts.
Correct. She's in investment management
wow.
for Allianz, and so she was working 50 to 60 hours a week for them. And then she would come and shoot her scenes, so we had to schedule around her work schedule so she could do that.
Oh,
but
my goodness.
That was a fortune of mine, being able to write for her and for her voice, and I knew how to do that. But,
And then also having kids, like, they'll always be in this. You'll always have
Yes.
this glimmer of this time that you were in this thriller together.
Yeah, exactly. Being able to like share a family snapshot.
All the blood and like all that stuff. So fun.
The family that
Wholesome
bleeds
family
together.
members.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly. So, and then it's nice being the character of the man, because it's like the only time my wife would ever call me the man.
Well, so
yeah.
question for you about that. Why is it the man? Why does he not have a name? Is that
Because
a choice?
Correct. Yeah.
Yes.
He's this mysterious stranger, and a really strong underlying theme is that we need to, if we're going to survive all the catastrophes and disasters and the divide that we're going through as a world, we need to connect to each other. And so, regardless of your name or your religion or your creed or whatever, if we're going to make it through all the challenges that we have today, I think an underlying theme is we have to come together. And what better opportunity to come together than a zombie pre-apocalypse?
Perfect.
Right?
Love it. And also the theme of your movie has some similarities to the pandemic, which was going on while you were making this.
Correct.
Was that an inspiration? Or what?
It was a big bummer, because everyone had to be in, had to be all their PPE and gloved up and masked up. And in fact, there was a time I was talking with, I was trying to give direction to Peter O'Mara, and he had, because we were shooting in, I think on average our days were about 13 below zero.
Wow.
And then with wind chills up to 45 below zero. And so he had earmuffs on, and I had the mask on during COVID, and there's just no way of hearing each other. So.
No. But the concept of the movie, what was the inspiration for that?
So the original concept for the movie is a television series that I developed, and I wanted to be able to ask. I love horror. I love the zombie subgenre in particular, and so I wanted to ask a moral question on top of another moral question, so that I wanted to challenge the audience to get something out of it. And I feel like horror is one of the few genres where allows you to think about what you just saw, not just 20 minutes after you watch the movie, but maybe a day or a month or even a year afterwards. So I hope I stuck to the kind of rules of zombies or infected, and I wanted again to kind of subvert that subgenre into getting people to kind of re-question what they would do for their loved ones. But I can't, it's hard to say exactly and delve into what we're talking about without giving away the big twist. And I also wrote it so that every scene leading into the next scene is kind of not what the audience would expect. Because there's nothing more than, I don't hate anything more than watching something like, oh, this is going to happen next, or seeing a film where a well-known actor's in it, and I'm like, oh, that's the bad guy, or that's the killer, right?
So it's like the season of the White Lotus.
Exactly. Way to spoil the White Lotus. Yeah, no. But yeah, that's why originally the kids, when they were shooting it, my daughter was 3 and my son was 8.
Oh.
And so they're the kind of the main characters, and it's kind of like. I guess I would characterize it as like 28 Days Later in the Land of the Revenant.
Sure,
right? But with kids. So
love
maybe
that.
Sprinkle it with Home Alone a little bit.
Okay,
in there,
that's fun. So. And you also have Haley LeBlanc is starring in it as well.
Yep.
How did you find out about her?
So I was fortunate enough. My manager Nikita Shazoff at Roar.
Yeah, we know Nikita. Love him.
Nikita, great guy. So he knows everybody, and he said, there's this great actress, and she's looking to do a film, and she loves horror. And so I said, well, that's fantastic. Let's talk. I interviewed, auditioned, whatever, Haley. Yeah. And at the time she was, I don't want to give away her age, but she was 3 years younger than she is now.
Yes.
And I was impressed with what she had to say and how she said it, and that allowed me to kind of write a character really fitting for her.
Yeah.
And then she fit really well with our main antagonist, our main bad guy, Peter O'Mara,
Yes.
who's also rep by Nikita.
Yes.
And so, even though Peter's Irish and
Yeah.
and he's a phenomenal actor, but they really were able to gel well together as father and daughter.
You see that in the clips that I saw, because I also haven't seen the whole movie yet.
And you're gonna watch. You're gonna
and I'm
stick
gonna
around
watch.
and watch, right?
Of
Excellent.
course.
Awesome.
I want to know what's going on now.
Great,
I have
great.
to know. You hooked me
Yeah.
already.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good. Thank you.
Were you also? You've had many careers. Were you also a cop at one
Yeah.
point and a video game?
Yeah. So
How does that all come into this film?
So I was, yes, I was a police officer for too many years.
Too many.
And then I was asked by M. Night Shyamalan production if I would technically advise on one of their films, and that was a horror film. And I was on that horror film, and I just so happened to ask the writer of that film if he would give me any pointers to teach me how to write, and not knowing anything about the industry.
Right.
Of course, that's exactly what an A-list writer wants to hear, right?
Yeah.
Will you read my script, and will you
Yeah,
teach me how to write, right?
Sure.
So he did that, and that allowed me to write a video game for Activision, which led to another video game, and then video games are insane to write. There's 700-page scripts or more.
Wow.
And so it was like a crash course in writing, and then that allowed me to get other jobs as a writer, and then I continued as technical director on series. And then finally, during the pandemic, when everyone was like, oh, I got to find a new hobby, I was like, well, I think now is a good time to just take the reins and become an actual director and direct my own thing.
Yeah, and bring your family along.
Exactly.
I love it. I love
Exactly.
it.
Pay them nothing and
I
let
love-
them do everything.
Well, they'll have this memory forever.
Yes.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Cannot wait to say it. See it.